Alright, the return of Sathington Willoughby. So in this video I'm going to be sticking to the Brown album version of the track, and while I do find this song to be kind of simple and straightforward, at the same time I do find it to be a bit confusing as far as gear, tuning, effects, and octaves go, and I'll get more into discussing that at the end of the video, as I think it gets a little bit ranty, but for now we're going to be playing on a 4th string and drop D tuning. Alright, so we're going to start the song off with 4 muted strums, and then into the speech of this song. So we're going to be at E12, which I guess might technically be D12, but you know what I mean. E12, and then D12, this octave here, an octave pluck. So plucking the E string with your thumb and D string with your index finger, kind of like how we do in Sergeant Baker or in Shake Hands with Beef. Okay, and then we're going to take that down half a step to 11. And so we're just going to go back and forth there during the lyrical parts of the song. And during this part of the song, it does sound like there's some kind of effect going on. So kind of like a don't really know what that is. Maybe he's using the whammy bar, pretty typical of him. Or perhaps it's an effect pedal, like a tremolo or a wah pedal. Don't really know. Okay, and then we're going to do a few slapped slides on the E string. A few of those into the main riff, and the main riff is going to go like this. Okay, to slow that down. Okay, so we're going to start with a slap on E12. Then we're going to pop D12, pull off to 10, pop 10. Okay, so. And then we have a quick muted note. I'm not sure whether it's a slap or a pop. I play a pop on the D string. And then quickly after that, we're going to slap A10, hammer on to 12, and then pop D10, hammer on to 12. Up next, we have a muted slap. Not really sure which string that's on. I think I do that on the A string. And then a pop on D12, quickly followed by an E12 slap. Okay, so altogether we have. And so the second round of playing this, we are going to end on a G12 pop, and that's going to be right after the. Okay, so. going to show up a fair bit in this track. So the fourth round of this main riff sounds a little different. Not entirely sure what's going on, but what I think is happening is instead of the normal ending of instead of that, instead of popping the D12, it's going to be a muted pop, so instead it's like it's going to be more like that. Alright, so then we are going to take this main riff down an octave, which is why we are in drop D tuning. But just before we do that, we have a little fill here, like. So instead of, we're going to do, and then pop D10, muted slap, D10 again. Okay. Alright, so taking this main riff down an octave, we are going to start by slapping open E. Then pop A5, pull off to 3, pop A3, and then again a muted note. I pop the muted A string, and then immediately after slap E5, hammer on 7, and then quickly jump down here and pop A3, hammer on 5. So all together. And then muted slap, pop A5, and then slap open E. So then we're just going to basically just repeat that when we're down here. It doesn't really, you know, the G12 pop up here, that doesn't really transfer because, you know, that would be D5, but we're not going to do that. So when we're going from the main riff down here an octave back into the speech part, we're actually not going to start with 12. We're going to go back into the speech on 11 instead. So it's going to start there. Okay, at 152 we got a fill here, and that's going to go like this. So instead of doing our, instead of that, we are going to do, so our normal slap A10, hammer onto 12, then we're going to pop D12, 10, and slap A10. Okay, so at 202 we have another fill right before taking it down an octave, and that's going to go like this. So, you know, again, instead of our, we're going to go, so, and then pop D10, and then 3 quick slaps on A12, doing a bit of bending there. And at 245 we have another fill, which is going to go like. Alright, so we're going to start the main riff like normal, so. But then we're going to do a quick slap pop, muted, which I do on the D string. And then again, but on G12, so 2 fast G12 notes. Slap, and then pop. Okay, so. And at 255 we have another fill, which is going to go like. Okay, so we have our normal. Okay, then after that we're going to do a muted slap, and then pop G12. Okay, then we're going to slap D10, and then left hand hammer on to A12. Okay, so like. our main riff here down an octave like usual, but then right before "a mind is a terrible thing to waste," we're going to do some slapping very high up here on the E string, probably as high as you can go. So like, so then from this point on, it's just going to be, you know, the speech and the until the end of the track, and that's pretty much the song. So now a bit of discussion on why this track is a bit confusing to me. So, you know, in this video we've been doing this on a 4-string and drop D tuning. I'm skeptical this is what's going on in the track because I don't know of any other song in which Les plays in drop D tuning. In live performances of this track, they played this track a handful of times during the 3D tour in 2012, and I was lucky enough to actually catch this song when they played in Indianapolis. But when they play this track live, he does play it on a 4-string in standard tuning, but he plays the main riff up an octave higher. So like, that's going to be an octave higher up to like, and you know, down here, that's just going to be here. That's not the only difference with the album version. Like, he does like pop some open strings as he's playing the main riff, but anyway, yeah, it's an octave higher. So on the album, is he playing it up there but just using like an octave pedal to like shift the notes down an octave? Maybe, you know, that's possible, but again, kind of unusual. So then maybe he plays this one on the 6th string, you know, just making use of the low B string to play, you know, that riff lower octave here. But then he wouldn't be using the whammy bar because, you know, his 6th string fretted doesn't have a whammy bar. He'd be using like some kind of effects pedal to get that wah tremolo effect during the verses. So, you know, I don't know of any other time he's used a tremolo pedal. Is he using a wah pedal? I suppose that's possible, but that's something I'd more expect in his kind of squishier material, like Oysterhead, like Of Oils and Woe. It's kind of weird to me, like using a wah pedal on something as kind of dirty and straightforward as like the Brown album. You know, and I don't really hear this effect anywhere else on the record. But anyway, enough of that. That's pretty much the song. Return to Sathington Willoughby.